Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Beat with me, Odette. Here on Business Beat, we normally talk about the liveliness of earning a livelihood and being an entrepreneur. But there is the other side of business that we don't always want to talk about, and this affects every single person. What happens when you pass away? And is there a business opportunity to assist those who are dealing with loved ones who've passed away? And what happens to your business? With me are the co-founders of an app called Sendoff, and they're here to give us a little bit of guidance about what we as business people, everyday people, ought to know so that our loved ones can send us off in a dignified and hassle-free way. Hello and welcome to Business Beat.
Hello and thank you for having us, Odette.
Solani, CEO of Sendoff, tell us how you guys both came up with this idea to start a business about sending people off into the next realm.
Hi, Odette. Thank you. So, how did this come about? This came about from us solving our own problem. I was scarred for life when I had to bury my mom when I was in my early 20s. It was just a really horrific experience. It was traumatic. You've lost someone who really was a pillar of your life. And you now have to deal with all the admin and hassle. And in about 2019, we had another bereavement in the family. And I had to focus on saying goodbye to an extended family member. And I thought to myself, nothing has changed almost 20 years later. It's still so horrific. It's almost broken in the manner that it's done at the moment. People and families are treated as units. It's very impersonal. There are so many different things that you need to deal with.
Yes.
And there's no manual for it. You're just thrust in there with the hope that you'll kind of sink or swim. And so I thought, man, is there not a better way to do this? And that idea infected me for a while, and the end result was Sendoff.
Okay, so you have a bereavement in the family. What's the first step? You go onto an app, onto a website to find you?
So the very first step is to take a deep breath and relax. Remember that this was your loved one at some point.
Right.
Because when our loved one depart, we are in so much trauma and haste. We just want to send them off and book a pickup so urgently. So what we do advise is that you breathe, you inform the relevant people that needs to know in the family, and then you definitely go onto our app, you book a pickup, and we come and collect your deceased, departed loved one.
Is this everywhere across the whole country?
Yeah, so we're national, typically in metros. If you're really out in the sticks, we will try our best to help you, but we can't guarantee a service if you're more than 50 k's away from a metropolitan area. But yeah, we do have a national presence, and so pretty much in the whole of South Africa, and soon to be the world.
Oh, wow. So what you then do is activate all the necessary people that need to come to the aid of the family at that time so that they can focus on the traditional things, the religious aspects, and just grieving.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what we find is that a lot of the time when you're thrust into this situation, and especially for the demographic that we're targeting, which is your late Gen X, early millennial, people haven't done this before. It's a shock. They don't know what to do. They don't even know who they are, talk less of, what is the next step. So we say, right, after you've taken a deep breath, call us, go to our website, get onto our app, and hand over the entire process to us. It's just like Uber for funerals. Essentially, you hand over all the admin, you hand over all the project management, all the chasing of people for quotes, chasing of venues. We do all of that. You just hand everything over to us and you tell us your wishes, the wishes of your departed loved one, and we then, in consultation with the family, ensure that everything is done right the first time. Because you don't get a second chance to do this.
I get that.
And give your departed.
I like what you're saying in terms of it being like Uber. So Uber itself as an organization does not own a single vehicle, right?
Yes.
They partner with other people who build their own little businesses off their business by providing services. Is this what you're doing? Are you gathering a whole lot of businesses in the value chain and giving them access to a customer base that comes via you. So indirectly you're supporting other small businesses, contributing to job creation, contributing to growing their businesses, as it were, whilst at the same time helping human beings deal with a very, very difficult problem. Is this
I love
your
it
model?
when people just get us. You just got it
Okay.
in one.
Absolutely.
That's
So in essence, we don't
fantastic.
own funeral parlors. We don't own florists. We don't own any bakeries where you get scones from. We bring all of those different players in the value chain together across the entire death care value chain. So anything from funeral policies to deceased estates, we bring all of that into one place, and we help you select the right service provider. We help you through the entire process. We project manage it in the background, and we make sure that ultimately you're satisfied with the send-off of your loved one.
Okay, how do you register on your app? How do you become part of Sendoff?
So you go onto our website, which is www.sendoff.app, and you find a tab that says register as a partner.
Okay.
You register there. Alternatively, you download the app, you find the same tab that allows you to register, and you're good to go. But I will say, because the nature of the business that we are in, it's quite sensitive, and we need a lot of reliable and vetted people. So we would say that we don't just take anyone, we take high quality service providers, because we know it's such a traumatic space and we need people that we can trust to deliver.
Last question. Is it expensive? We know that it is expensive already to bury or to lay to rest or to cremate, whatever it is that your traditions, cultures or religions dictate, a loved one. Now you're adding a layer of complexity to it or simplicity to it. Does that come at a very, very high cost?
It's a lot more expensive to plan and organize a funeral than you think it is. And most probably your funeral policy doesn't cover you for what it's going to cost.
Okay.
Having said that, going through Sendoff is a lot cheaper than you going out there into the industry, dealing with the sharks that do exist out there,
Right.
and trying to ensure that you get value for money. We've actually done all of this. So
Okay.
we've pre-done the work for you to make sure that we've selected the best service providers that there are, who are reliable, who aren't sharks, and who will deliver.
Okay. So you can still have your funeral policy, you can still have your money that you've put away for a time such as this. It doesn't affect any of that. This is just to make the logistics better, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Business Beat. And as we say here, may your business grow from success to significance. But at the same time, all the partners attached to your business, may their businesses, through the efforts that you are trying to provide to the South African people, and as you say, worldwide, may their businesses grow from success to significance. Heaven knows our economy needs it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you for having us.
There you have it, South Africa. If you are one of those unfortunate people, and we've all been there at some point, where you're faced with having to deal with the death of a loved one, you can make the administrative process, the dealing with how you're actually going to lay your loved one to rest in a very dignified way, very easy. You know who to contact, Sendoff, and they'll help you, they'll hold your hand, and they'll connect you to all the right people so that your loved one can be buried in an absolutely peaceful and beautiful way. If you are a service provider in this sector, you now also know where you need to be registered in order to see your business grow. Until next time.